Narcissists stalk people for a myriad of reasons, but at the core of it, they stalk because they believe that they own you. Narcissists believe that you are an extension of them, and as such, they can do whatever they please. So let's go ahead and jump into the different reasons. So if you have a toxic ex or a toxic relative, family, friend that won't leave you alone, we're going to jump into the reasons why. So first up, narcissists believe that they own you. At surface level, this may not make sense, but you have to look at it through the lens of where the narcissist is coming from, meaning their particular evolution. Now, if we take a trip down memory lane, we'll see where narcissists did not securely attach to their parents in childhood. This type of insecure, dysfunctional attachment is what you're actually dealing with now with them as an adult. This is because you're dealing with arrested development, and you hear me say that often here on this channel. For example, you'll hear me say often that narcissists are people that are based in shame and they can't move past their pride. So when I use the Hawking scales in this particular way, I'm talking about emotional arrested development. Pathological narcissism is not just emotional arrested development. It's not just a mental disorder. You really are dealing with people that are corrupt at their core. So you will hear me say also that narcissists are people that have accepted an evil spirit. So when you think about evil, you're thinking about darkness or being close to death. So if at their core they are dark, then everything outside will also be dark. You're dealing with someone that has lost their spark. They've lost their inner light. So at the spirit level, they are unconscious because again, they're based in shame. This is very low vibrational energy. In the mind area, you can see that they are losing their mind because this is at one level a type of mental illness. However, overall, narcissism, pathological narcissism, is a psycho-spiritual illness. So you have arrested development at the spirit level, at the mind level, at the emotional level, because again, they can't move past their pride. And when it comes to willpower, you're dealing with very impulsive people. They cannot control themselves. And somebody that can't control themselves is very closer to being a wild animal than they are to being a human being, a conscious human being. And what do we see at the physical level, at the body level? We see addiction. You essentially are dealing with people that are addicted to people. They are energy vampires. And this is why they're prone to emotionally cheating, physically cheating, and so on. And because of this addictive nature, then they also may be addicted to other drugs, substances, porn addiction, food addiction, shopping addiction, hoarding, and so on. So I'm saying all of this to go back to that shame-based child that did not attach securely to their parents and or caregivers. And when we're talking about shame, again, we're talking about pathologically low self-esteem. This is not normal if you feel bad on one day and then the next day that you're okay. So this means that every day that the narcissist wakes up, they are at shame. Pathologically low self-esteem means that they have no self-love, meaning that they don't love themselves. And again, this is the abandonment that started in their childhood. So on a bad day, they're at shame, and on a good day, they're at pride. However, they cannot move past their pride, so they're in a shame, rage, pride cycle because they're not elevating, they're not ascending. What you're experiencing today with stalking is dysfunctional attachment that started in their developmental years from their parents. You are dealing with people that do not have a very good grasp on boundaries. This is victim abuser consciousness, right? That era from shame up to pride. And who is an abuser? An abuser is someone that breaks your boundaries, either non-physical, such as psychological, emotional, or it could be physical. So if somebody attacks your person, for example, domestic violence, or if they invade your space, such as breaking into your home, that is breaking boundaries. In victim abuser consciousness, the mindset is different. So when you look here on the Hawking scale, the area from shame up to pride is below the level of rational thinking. And rational linear thinking is going to be the green area. Rational linear thinking means that we can work things out. You can have accountability and resolve. Narcissists have none of this. All of this is below the level of rational thinking. So do not try to rationalize their behavior. It is abnormal. Can't really rationalize crazy. However, understand that in their mind, you're either going to be the victim or the abuser. So for them, being powerful means being the abuser, because you cannot be equal in victim abuser consciousness. If somebody is stuck in the third dimension, this is exactly how they think. So if you're dealing with a narcissist that damaged your property, broke into your apartment, stole physical things from you, then they believe that they are entitled to those objects. This is the mindset of an abuser. There is no equality in the third dimension. It does not exist. Somebody has to be up and somebody has to be down. And you've probably seen this in narcissists and their behavior, because sometimes they will switch this around on you and pretend that you are the one that is abusing them. And Darvo essentially is when your abuser will deny responsibility and pretty much reverse those roles and claim that you are now the abuser and they are now the victim. Pathological narcissists like to stalk people after the relationship because technically they were stalking you from the beginning. You are dealing with people that are predatory in nature. Narcissists do not get into relationships with people. They get into abuse cycles. As a survivor, often encounter with these entities, you thought you were getting into a relationship, but again, on the other side, that was not the case. When you take a look at the narcissistic abuse cycle that you would have been interpreting as a relationship, you can see where it starts off with idealization, or what you may commonly know as a love bomb. Love bombing is a manipulation tactic. So they will use flattery, gifts. They will overwhelm you to get you to drop your guard to get into a relationship with them. In the love bomb, you are being hunted. You are being stalked. You are being studied. This does not stop after the relationship, because again, it's not a relationship. This is a abuse cycle. So after the discard, narcissists will try to drag you back into the relationship via stalking. They always want to be on your mind. They're always trying to abuse you because this is an abuse cycle. Stalking is another abusive and manipulative tactic that narcissists use to keep you off your square. So it is important to keep a paper trail with your local law enforcement and keep your friends and family in the know of what is happening. This is a type of emotional abuse, digital abuse if they're sending you messages, text messages, and so on. And it could even be physical if they show up to your property or your place of work. It is very important not to internalize the behavior of narcissists. You're dealing with a very demented person. You're dealing with people that have issues with letting go. Narcissists are holding on to negative emotions. They're holding on to resentment and revenge. And when it comes to stalking, then again, even after the relationship, they're still trying to hold on to you. All of this started in their developmental years with their parents and or caregivers, because narcissism, pathological narcissism, is an attachment disorder. So then it is also a detachment disorder. This is not your fault. If you appreciate the content, please give us a like, share, and subscribe, and comment if you have any questions. Let us know what you think.